What's going on, Vikings fans? Happy Monday morning to all of you guys. And coming up on today's show, we got some big-time news on Sam Darnold, Byron Murphy Jr., and who the next top free agent target is for the Minnesota Vikings. My name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. Now, before we dive into all of this massive news around your Minnesota Vikings, free agency is just a week away from today. So you guys are going to want to make sure you guys are subscribed here to the channel, because anytime we get any updates, any breaking news around your favorite football team, I will have a video for you guys ASAP. And plus, we're just 86 subs away from hitting 52,500 subscribers. So help me out, help us out here at Chat Sports, and go down there, hit that subscribe button. Don't miss a thing around your Minnesota Vikings. All right, let's dive into the new report we got from Tony Pauline, an NFL draft analyst, and he pretty much leaked the Vikings' plans for the franchise tag with Sam Darnold, saying the Vikings won't tag Sam Darnold before Tuesday's deadline, and he will hit the open market. Now, we haven't gotten any definite reporting on this from like a Vikings beat reporter or like one of the top dogs like Adam Schefter, Tom Pelissero, so this isn't definite by any means, but I would also assume the Vikings won't tag Darnold, as we are, pretty much just over 24 hours before that deadline. But I do want to kick this back to an Alec Lewis article that just dropped earlier this morning. If you guys don't know, Alec Lewis, one of the best Vikings beat reporters for The Athletic. He does a great job, and he has a ton of inside information with the Minnesota Vikings plans with Sam Darnold. This is what he had to say. He says, does that mean first-year general manager like John Spytek of the Las Vegas Raiders will hitch his franchise to Darnold for multiple seasons? Will New York Giants general manager Joe Schoen and head coach Brian Daboll bet their jobs on Darnold's play? League sources believe those are the two likeliest landing spots for Darnold. But the Tennessee Titans and Pittsburgh Steelers could also vie for Darnold's services. The amount of money he's offered will depend on how far ahead of the other available quarterbacks these teams see him as being. Any competition could then bring the franchise tag into play for Minnesota. They think a better path to building the optimal roster is paying a quarterback like Daniel Jones around $10 million instead of giving Darnold around $35 million. The Vikings' decision would get tougher if Darnold considered returning for somewhere in the $25 million range. And I think that would be crazy. Like, what if Darnold and his representation go to the Minnesota Vikings and say, hey, I want to come back to Minnesota. I'll play on a 2-year, $40 million deal. You could keep the cap hit around $15 million per year. I think that would put the Vikings in a tough situation, because obviously they love J.J. McCarthy. They know he is the franchise quarterback of the future for Minnesota. But also, Darnold winning 14 games, him throwing for 35 touchdowns, having a great season last year for the Vikings. If he says, hey, I'll return on a 2-year, $40 million deal, I definitely think the Vikings will heavily consider that, option heading into free agency. But I also think this will be very similar to the Kirk Cousins situation. And I think it's pretty well reported that the Vikings this time last year were treating the Kirk Cousins situation as such. Hey, Kirk, we'll offer you a shorter-term deal with shorter, amount of average millions per season, but you would also get to retain your starting spot with the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk said no to that. He got a bigger deal from the Atlanta Falcons. Didn't work out for Kirk Cousins. So I wonder if Sam Darnold's looking at that Kirk situation saying, do I really want to go, bet on myself at a different organization, go get more money, or I could stay with the Minnesota Vikings, a team who took a chance on me, and I was playing some of the best football in my career. It's definitely an interesting just conversation for Sam Darnold and his camp. But Jeremy Fowler this morning of ESPN also wrote up an article talking about Darnold, saying, while the Vikings are open to Sam Darnold returning, I continue to hear they won't mortgage the future to keep him. There's not much momentum coming out of the combine that the Vikings will franchise tag Darnold, who should have multiple suitors if available. The Giants, Raiders, and Titans are among the logical options, and I'm not totally discounting the Steelers here, not yet at least, as one high-ranking official with a QB-needy team pointed out to me. Darnold won 14 games for the Vikings in 2024 and is the best option on the market by a wide margin. And, every Tom Pelissero, Jeremy Fowler, Adam Schefter, they keep on saying the Vikings have interest in bringing Sam Darnold back. Now, my question to this is this true? Are the Vikings telling other teams who have interest in bringing Sam Darnold back because they want to get a tag and trade done, or do they really have some serious interest in bringing Sam Darnold back? I think it's more of the tag and tag and trade route where the Vikings are saying, hey, we want him back. If he agrees to come back at this, figure per year, we'll be more than happy to have him be QB1 for Minnesota. But also, I think this little gamesmanship with the Vikings feeding this information to these top NFL, writers out there, and, they're probably trying to get a tag and trade done. But I still feel like it is 99.9% likely that Sam Darnold walks in free agency. J.J. McCarthy is the franchise quarterback after that. But you guys let me know, where will Sam Darnold play in the 2025 season? Will it be with the Minnesota Vikings? Will it be with the Las Vegas Raiders, Pittsburgh Steelers, Tennessee Titans, New York Giants? You guys let me know where you think number 14 will be playing his football next season in the NFL. Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, we do have a new report on the next top Vikings free agent target. According to Alec Lewis, Will Fries is the preferred free agent benchmark for the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, they struck out on Trey Smith, so it looks like they're shifting their attentions to Willie Fries here. This is what Alec Lewis had to say, saying headlining the list is Indianapolis Colts guard Will Fries. He fits the Vikings' preferred free agent benchmarks in that he's young, versatile, and productive. How his right tibia fracture affects his market remains to be seen, but the Vikings will likely be bidding against multiple teams, including the NFC North rival Chicago Bears. Fries signing somewhere else would complicate matters. Someone like Baltimore Ravens, Patrick McCarry might then be in play, but this type of circumstance, like the situation with Murphy, underscores how integral it is for the front office to give themselves plenty of pass during this period. So I got two paths. I got plan A and plan B. I think plan A for the Vikings is either signing one of Will Fries or Patrick McCarry. I think they do want to get a big name free agent in there at that offensive guard spot, but let's just say they aren't able to land one of those two guys. I think their plan B option would be the plug and play route, where it's the Kevin Zeitlers, it's the Brandon Scherfs on those 1 year, $7-8 million per year deals, or you just take one of Will Fries and McCarry and one of Zeitler and Scherf, and then maybe you go get a Drew Dahlman. There are definitely multiple different avenues the Vikings could take in how they could shore up this offensive line in free agency. So we'll share with you guys more information on Byron Murphy and the offensive line here in a second. But I do want to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. Now, if you guys download the PrizePicks app today, plug in that promo code CLNS, you guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the PrizePicks app today, plug in that promo code CLNS, get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, what is PrizePicks? It's the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. Now, if you guys are trying to make a Timberwolves or a Wild game more interesting, creating a PrizePicks lineup is the best way to do so, because even if the game's a blowout, you guys can follow your PrizePicks lineup throughout the entire event. So download the PrizePicks app today, plug in that promo code CLNS, get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Got that link for you guys in the comments and description of today's show. But massive shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's edition of Vikings Now by Chat Sports. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, so obviously there's a lot of different avenues on how the Vikings could address the offensive line in free agency. Like, they could go big on guys like Will Fries, Patrick McCarry, or even a guy like Drew Dahlman. Then they could also go plug and play with guys like Zeitler and Will Fries. So my dream offensive line would look like this. Now, this is you spending majority of your free agent spending on this unit, but I think with the reporting we're hearing that this could be the case. So you go plug and play with Kevin Zeitler at left guard. You go cut Garrett Bradbury, save $5 million. So then you toss Drew Dahlman, probably $15 million per year. You got Willie Fries slated in at the right guard. And then you go Brian O'Neill at right tackle. Like, if that is your five, that leaves the Vikings avenues, especially in the NFL draft, wide open, because you then could take a running back at pick number 24. I wouldn't be upset about it whatsoever. Then you could also, with how deep this defensive tackle draft is, you could go get a guy in the third, get a guy in the fifth, shore up that side of the football. But I still think with how kind of free agency and the draft are shaking out, go big on O-line and free agency, figure out running back and defensive line, hopefully in the NFL draft. But we also do have a new update. Speaking about the cornerback position, the Vikings apparently want to re-sign Byron Murphy Jr. This, again, was coming in from Alec Lewis. Please give him a follow on Twitter. This guy's one of the best in the game in terms of covering the Minnesota Vikings. But this is what he had to say. He said the Vikings want to re-sign Byron Murphy Jr. This isn't a surprise. A few weeks ago, the team extended the void date of his contract, creating more time to negotiate a new deal with the free agent. The two sides met Wednesday in Indianapolis to gauge the level of interest. Murphy adores the Vikings organization and Brian Flores' defensive system. The Vikings view him as a key contributor because of his skill set. He can play outside, line up against slot receivers, blitz, drop into the deep half, and track the ball. The marriage is close to perfect, but money matters. And listen, I totally agree with that. I think the Vikings want Byron Murphy Jr. back. Byron Murphy Jr. wants to be back with the Vikings. But again, like Alec was saying, it all comes down to the per year number. Like, are the Vikings willing to give Murphy $20+ million per year? I really do not think so. And also, there are other free agent options out there at the cornerback position. So the Vikings don't need to overpay, because this is well reported, they're big fans of DJ Reed. They're also big fans of Rasul Douglas. Asante Samuel Jr., they're big fans of him as well. So do you want to give Byron Murphy, let's say $20 million, when you could give a guy like DJ Reed $13 million, Asante Samuel $13 million, and you could get two good cornerbacks instead of overpaying for Byron Murphy? It's a tough conversation. I still think Byron Murphy Jr. is the biggest domino to fall for the Vikings heading into free agency, but keep your eyes out on him. I don't want to guarantee anything, but if the Vikings do let Byron Murphy Jr. walk, watch out for DJ Reed being the big pickup during free agency. They love him, especially after the London game. All types of reports are coming out that the Vikings are a big fan of his and his game. He can play multiple positions, and I think it would be a great scheme fit with Brian Flores. But you guys let me know. Drop a name down below in the comments section. Name a free agent the Minnesota Vikings need to sign. You guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. And also, if you guys want to hit me up on Twitter, that's a handle right there, @PatSeeps. Give me a follow over there. Give you guys a follow right back. But thank you guys so much for watching today's show. As always, Skol Vikes.